Hi, welcome to Caregiver Cast. My name is Mary Elaine Petrucci, your host. My special guest today is Jason Cronan, who will be talking to us about health and exercise and a holistic wellness coach and personal trainer. So let's introduce Jason. Jason Cronan earned a master's degree in exercise science. He has 18 plus years of experience as an exercise physiologist, holistic wellness coach, trainer, and keynote speaker. Jason's programs and keynote messages guide over 1,000 of his clients to develop a true sense of optimal well-being. Professionals, entrepreneurs, and corporations hire Jason to educate them on how to align their lives and have a more productive career. His lifelong martial arts training has taught him how powerful the mind can be. He has a black belt in Taekwondo. Throughout his whole life, he has struggled with many forms of anxiety. After many years of personal research, he has developed techniques to suppress anxious feelings. His passion is coaching people how to have a healthy lifestyle, even when dealing with mental struggles. His upcoming book will give people the steps to overcome anxiety and achieve success. Jason owns Body Express Wellness Solutions and produces a podcast TV show in his RV called Wellness on the Go. I love that. He interviews professionals from around the globe with the intent to help listeners discover their optimal well-being. The show ultimately enables people to tap into their true potential so they can thrive and not just survive. We help you find balance to enhance your lifestyle. So, Jason, welcome to Caregiver Cast.
Thank you very much, Mary. I'm looking forward to being here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I needed to add that you have overcome your struggles with anxiety. And how did you come up with this approach to working with clients in terms of overcoming their anxiety?
Repeat the question one more time. I actually broke up. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So how did you overcome your anxiety, which I'm sure a lot of caregivers have? So how did you overcome it, and what was your journey?
Sure. I've actually suffered from anxiety since I was a young kid. At the age of 5 all the way up, I actually was bullied in school a lot. I was a very much a kid that was picked on tremendously. And I dealt with anxiety as well. I made my anxiety worse. And as I got older, I noticed that I would get pain in my back. I would get nervous. I would get shaky. I would have numbness. And this happened throughout my whole life up until college. I found out that in college, I had a severe panic attack. I thought it was a heart attack. I went to the hospital, had every single test done on my heart to see if it was a heart attack. It was actually a massive panic attack that caused me to have every symptom of a heart attack. Wow. And ever since that day, I've been focusing so much on how to control the feelings of anxiety. You don't even know you have anxiety until sometimes you get told by a physician that that was an anxiety attack or a panic attack. And that's a really serious situation for a lot of people. What I've done throughout my research is I found out ways to control the anxiety if it happens. If I start to feel shaky, if I start to feel numb, I developed a method. I do this every single morning, and I have a morning routine checklist actually that I'm going to share with everybody. Is when I wake up in the morning, I do a gratitude session to talk about what I'm grateful for. But the next step I go into helps with the anxiety to start my day. I talk about how to get rid of your tension. I said, let go of tension, let go of stress, let go of anxiety, let the muscles relax, and smile. I tell myself that multiple times in the morning as a mantra. And then I go into a visual color meditation using the color of gold and with breathing exercises to re-stimulate my mind and to restart my day so that I don't think about anything that's happening but what's happening at that present moment. And that starts my day off with not being anxious. If I start to feel anxious, I close my eyes and repeat that to myself over and over and over again, and breathe and think about the senses, the five senses, touch, taste, smell, sight, all those different senses you want to reassure yourself. And that's more of a psychology way. But I definitely have developed a lot of tips and steps for myself to control the anxiety, from social to performance anxiety to just general anxiety. And even with PTSD, that can help as well.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. It must have not felt very, you must not have felt very good about yourself if you were being bullied all the time. Was there a particular reason why that was occurring?
Yeah, when I was a young kid, I wasn't the athlete. Between ages 5 and 12, I was very nerdy. I have buck teeth. I had my mom combed my hair to the side and flipped it over like a part. And I wasn't looking that cute, and kids would bully me. But once I turned 13, I joined a martial arts school, and ever since then, I've been part of martial arts, and it really built confidence and self-esteem. I still had anxiety, but I was able to stick up for myself. I was confident, and ever since then, I give them that evil eye. I look them down really straight, and then I was confident, and they leave me alone because I gave them the evil stare. So that worked really well for them, and I haven't been picked on since. I just can talk my way out of it or just be confident, and that's a great thing for even adults as well as kids, and also caregivers. I do teach caregivers and women all ages self-defense. I'm actually doing a senior self-defense class next week for people 60 and up, learn how to defend themselves.
Oh, fantastic. I really commend you for all the work that you've done on your anxiety and overcome the bullying and all the horrible things that happened to you in your life. So what made you an expert in exercise physiology?
What I did is I actually had a passion for anatomy and physiology since I was a young kid. I did very well in high school on anatomy and physiology. Went to college. I got my bachelor's of science in exercise science, and I got a master's of science in exercise science. I worked as an exercise physiologist and owned my own gym for over 10 years. And then I continued that to this day. I had my own business when I do mobile fitness, and also I do online coaching and wellness coaching and training. And I'm a professional in the field because I've actually given a lot of keynotes about wellness, but as well as an exercise physiologist, you learn about the body from the cellular level, from the very little bit of how the cells function, all the way to how someone moves with kinesiology and the function and the movement of that person, not just how to exercise, but how your body works internally, all the way to how to make a person walk up the stairs properly, or how to help with injury, or how to really develop a great program. That's what we do. We're professionals. We're actually scientists in the field of exercise. I can be doing research instead of personal training. I could be in an institute doing research with athletes, but I choose to do more physical one-on-one with people.
That's a great choice. So you've also added a holistic wellness coach to that. How do those two work together?
With holistic wellness coaching, I take my martial art background, my steps I've used for honing my anxiety, and I use a lot of meditation, a lot of self-talk, positive affirmations with my clients. And when I coach them, I try to get them to think about their mindset. Majority of my clients are corporate individuals or people that are professionals that are super stressed out. I have a client right now that's had to take time off her job to really rebalance herself. She's working out with me online, and I start their session with mind exercises to control their mind, get them back into the really good mindset to get started with their workout. I end their workout with Qigong and yoga. So it calms their mind. And I talk to them about visualization of like their next step in their day. I said, if you ever start to get anxious, take a break and repeat these exercises that I'm showing you on a daily basis to help center yourself. So I'm not just trying to get them in shape. I'm trying to help their mind and also their career at the same time so that they don't burn out. They don't have an anxiety attack. And majority of my clients are seeking me out because they know I work with the holistic approach, which is the mind, body, and all the other elements that go along with it. The physical, the mental, the financial, the occupational, all goes together. Because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to function in your business. Your body is your business, I always say. Just think of your body as a business. If you don't take care of the steps to run your body or how your body functions, it's going to be very difficult to run your business or your job that you go to every day.
Oh, definitely. It's the same with caregivers. They end up feeling very stressed, overwhelmed, and really burnt out. So they don't take care of their bodies or find the time to do the exercises that you're suggesting. So give us some idea of the types of clients that you work with.
Yeah, speaking about caregivers, I've actually worked with the caregiver and the client at the same time, which is nice. I worked with a girl at my gym in Pennsylvania. She had cerebral palsy, and her caregiver and her mother both, her mom hired a caregiver to bring her daughter to the sessions. While her daughter was working out with me, I had the caregiver doing some exercises on the side so she can strengthen her shoulders, her back, her core, because the daughter was actually partially in a wheelchair for some parts of the day, and sometimes she could walk depending on her condition of how the muscle spasmed after or before, but she always did better after a workout. But I help with caregivers and also their people, the person they're taking care of. I work with corporate individuals. I work with the CEO all the way down to the person that's actually working in the office. I work with performers, for instance, musicians, comedians, people that really need to be fit to be on stage, and professionals in general. Like I mentioned before, my clients are professionals. She's actually a dentist that I work with, and she teaches at a dental school in Nashville. And I work with her and her friend at the same time online, and she's super stressed out because being a dentist or any profession of that sort is very stressful. So I work with the clients that really need the full package, not just the physical, but everything in general.
Fantastic. So you have a book coming out soon. Can you give us an idea of what it's all about?
Sure. The book actually is focusing on anxiety. I call anxiety the enemy within, knocking out anxiety. So knocking out as a martial arts reference, and the path through positivity and happiness. And my goal in that book is to talk about my experiences from when I was a kid all the way to now, to educate people on what types of anxiety there are, and then the steps they can take with their routine to have a life that they can neutralize their anxiety or depression and be able to function at the same time. You're always going to have some type of anxiety or anxiousness, and it's okay. It's a good thing. It's just that you want to be able to manage it so you don't black out on stage. You don't be in a situation where you have a panic attack and you know the symptoms and signs. And then I'm going to have my steps in there, like my wellness, my morning routine, my morning wellness routine, my evening routine, and what I call it at nighttime before I go to bed. I have a list called a mind eraser list. You ever see the movie Men in Black, where they flash the light and their whole memory goes? I write everything down I'm going to do the next day, so that when I'm sleeping, I don't think about it. And if I do think about it, I think about that list, and I say, okay, everything is on my list. I do not need to focus on that right now in the morning. It's on my list. I won't forget it. And if you do wake up and write something real quick, that's okay. You could write it to get it out of your mind and regroup. And I do that meditation in my head. I tell myself, release the tension, or let go of the tension, let go of the stress, let go of the anxiety, let the muscles relax, and smile. And I just keep thinking of that and close my eyes and visualize myself going to sleep, and I usually go back to sleep no problem. And
Mm,
that's all trainings that I keep telling myself personally. I do it every day as a routine to help
mhm.
myself stay balanced. And I teach that in my book, as well as I'm hoping that helps other people sooner than I discovered, because I didn't know until I was in pretty much in college. I would love to know if I was a teenager or even as an adult, those steps to help me out.
Oh yes, definitely. It sounds like you've had obviously a personal experience with anxiety. So writing the book would definitely help people who have that disorder or just feel like they're so overwhelmed that they can't function well for themselves or for the other person that they're caring for. Um, so yes, I did get to see your RV. So explain what Wellness on the Go and the focus of your podcast.
Yes, Wellness on the Go is actually focusing on the 8 dimensions or 9 dimensions of wellness, if you use creativity in that aspect of the wellness dimensions. I always think of it as a circle. If you have your physical, you have your mental, you have your intellectual, or intellectual and mental go together, and then you have your environmental, occupational, emotional, and spiritual. That's a big circle. And you add
Mm-hmm.
creativity into that. I interview people from all those aspects on my show, as well as people with a story like anxiety, with depression. I interviewed a
Mm-hmm.
doctor the other day that wrote the book, Wrestling with Depression. He helps men with
Mm,
depression, focusing on men because the men don't always open up as much about anxiety or depression. That's a
mm-hmm.
big part. But the show is to help people discover optimal well-being and open their
Mm,
eyes to other aspects that they may have never thought about. Like someone says, I hate my job. I'm so stressed out. I'm so burnt out. What do I do? You got to think about, why did you do that job? Is this for money? If you're not happy, try to figure out what else you can do to make yourself whole. And I really try to focus on that. For my personal self, I'm going through a transition right now where I'm trying to regroup and do a lot more positivity, as well as keynote speaking, to talk more, because COVID's slowly getting better. I want to get out there on stage again and
mm-hmm.
talk to people. That makes me happy, speaking to people. Doing podcasts, I love talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate this opportunity, because getting the word out there about wellness and helping caregivers is a big part, because caregivers need whole and wellness as well. And if they're fit and healthy, they can take care of the person they're helping much more than to get injured and not be able to work. So I figured that podcast that you're doing and the one I'm doing go together hand in hand, just to help a lot of people. And I love the RV because I get to travel around. I interview people in person and also online. And the RV is
Mm,
kind of my way of turning it into a TV show where I travel around eventually and interview people in person. Like one day go to a restaurant, interview a chef that does all healthy cooking, and then
mm-hmm.
another day go and on a zip line and learn how to do zip lining and interview the person that owns that business. Things like that. It's fun,
Mm-hmm.
exciting.
It sounds like it. So do you just travel around Nashville or do you go outside of Tennessee?
Right now it's local, but I plan to travel more, because right now I do mostly online. I've been interviewing people internationally all around, from Australia, Mexico,
Mm,
Canada, England, Brazil. It's kind of nice to be online because you get to meet people from all around the world with a
mm-hmm.
podcast. And I love the fact that you can do that, but I really want to go locally, a little bit more outside of my area eventually. I'm looking to get sponsorship and have the show take off, and down the road turn it into like a TV show where I'm a host of a show.
Mm. It sounds like you would have some really great information to share with people on wellness and anxiety. And I think it would be really beneficial if people could hear it and be able to start implementing some of the recommendations that you have, because like you said, it's caregivers are not the best people to take care of themselves, and then that makes it much more difficult to take care of someone else. So can you give us an idea of what total wellness with some anxiety, how is that for you? Or what is your picture of total wellness?
My picture of total wellness exactly is think of yourself as number one. I always say for the caregivers, you got to think of yourself as number one. I was told this on one of my podcast interviews, and a person said to me, which opened my eyes greatly, they said, living or waking up in a life that you do not want to leave, being happy of what you're doing and who you are and what you're involved in. Like, say for instance, a kid in a candy store is so amazed about what he sees all around him, does not want to leave. That should be your life. That should be, all those pieces of candy should be the pieces of your life that bring it together to get what you really are dreaming of and what you're here for. Like, people say, what's your passion? My passion is educating, helping people, and trying to have a person feel comfortable and happy. Even though you have anxiety, so be happy of your anxiety, accept your anxiety, accept your depression, but be able to live healthy. And that's with proper coaching, proper diet, proper wellness, proper environment. Your environment has a lot to do with your wellness. And for me, is waking up every day and being happy of what I'm doing and being successful. Not necessarily monetary successful, but successful that I'm able to function, do what I got to do, and not feel like there's a burden on my shoulders at all times, which could be anxiety. And it's not always easy for everyone, but I feel with simple programs, as well as really thinking about yourself as number one. I teach first aid and CPR, and I always tell people, you're number one whenever it comes to a situation. Think of yourself like that. When you're a caregiver, you're number one, and then the other person you're taking care of is not necessarily number two, but you have to come first, or you can't take care of that person. So I got to take care of myself first in order to take care of my family. And that's what I try to do every day to make sure I'm healthy so I can provide for my family and not have to be sick and in bed. And I've been there, believe me, I've been sick and in bed. I've had COVID almost at least 2 times. And
oh my goodness.
I have no smell and taste still for over a year and a half. And I still live my life happy because I say I'm thankful for that I'm not in the hospital. I'm thankful that I have able to get up every morning and breathe. And even though I can't taste my favorite foods or smell, I'm so thankful that I can do what I do and I'm able to do what I need to do. Regardless of that, I'm still thankful. And that's, you got to be thankful for what you have and appreciate what you have and then go from there. And that's all part of being optimal well-being, is having a life that you really, really enjoy and you want to be part of. And that's what I feel everyone should be part of. Even if it's not great, it should be something that you're working towards.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Must have been horrible having COVID 2 times and recovering from it still. I think you're so right. I think, it's your mindset, your ability to be grateful, like you're saying. And because you're being grateful, you can extend that outward to the person you're taking care of or to your family or friends. I think your whole idea of total wellness makes really great sense because you have to take care of all of those areas that you mentioned in order to really feel whole and comfortable with who you are. So I really appreciate that. So how can people get to know you and to find out more about how they can learn more from you about anxiety or from your whole total wellness approach?
Sure. If people can reach out to me at my website, it's Body Express without the E, WS.com. Social media as well, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's all Body Express WS.com. And reach out to me, ask me questions, contact me on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. Be more than happy to talk to you. I really like talking about topics. I love to help you as best as I can. I do have a 12-week coaching course online, either in person, and he does personal training or just coaching or both, and nutrition as well. and just reach out to me, ask questions, and I have a free gift for you as well. I want to give you my my morning routine wellness guide that I follow. I have a checklist for the morning, so it's a morning wellness routine. And what I do, and that's the download available, as well as a free wellness consultation, so that you can actually talk to me about what you're thinking about. It's a free half-hour consultation. It's not a coaching session, but it's a consultation about where you're at in life and where would you like to go in life. And we can sit down and talk about it. It's completely free and no strings attached. Just a fun conversation about where you're at, who you are, and what your plans are, and maybe I can help guide you in the right direction.
Well, thank you for both of those offers. That sounds like a great gift to allow people to start learning more about themselves and what they really need so that they can take care of someone else. And I really appreciate the fact that you have shared so many personal stories and how you've really achieved success in your life by looking at your total health. Give us an idea of like 3 takeaways that our listeners should come away from your podcast today.
Most definitely. The first thing, like I mentioned before, is and treat yourself as number one. Treat yourself as a business and make sure that you are doing the steps. If you were to open a business, what would you do? And the first thing would be to make sure that you are providing a proper nutrition, hydration, and also proper amount of exercise so that you can be healthy. 2 is to make sure that you look at what makes you happy. What is your passion in life? Why do you do what you do? Is it just because you have to have the money? I know we've all been there. But now write down what you want to do. And what is your goal that you want to accomplish? Number 3, is there a goal? My goal is to finish my book by December 1st and have it out on the market, hopefully in January of next year. I told someone today I'm going to make it December 1st. My book's going to be finished and edited and maybe on Amazon or wherever market that'll be by January. Set yourself a goal and one goal and make it quantifiable and something that you can physically touch eventually down the road. So first, number 1, you're number 1. Then 2, take care of yourself. And 3, set that goal. And what's your passion in there as well? Make that passion part of your goal. And I think that's the best thing that I'm focusing on and what you can focus on as well.
Jason, thank you so much for being here today. You've given us so much great information. And I think especially with that anxiety approach, knowing that you've been there, you've walked that road and can help people turn that around so that they could be feel much more whole and a better functioning person. So thank you so much for being on Caregiver Cast today.
You're quite welcome, Mary. I thank you very much for your time and look forward to everybody listening. Thank you.
Thank you.